okay, getting busy building this work that God had called us to.
Yeah. I want to take a couple of steps back because you said a lot. You said you knew when you met me that was God giving you the opportunity to walk in what you had believed for years.
Yeah.
That He had created you to do. And I want to talk about how, in order for you to effectively be equally yoked and get to a place where you can build something that matters with your spouse, is you need to be honest immediately about what you feel God led you to do.
Oh, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, you need to be honest about what God has put in your heart, because it shouldn't sidetrack them 2 years later.
Yeah.
3 years later. You shouldn't, it's unfair.
It shouldn't sidetrack them or sideswipe them. That all of a sudden, you come out of the box with, oh yeah, by the way.
Yeah. Well, it's not fair. It's not. Clarity is kindness.
Absolutely.
So if you be clear, you're being kind.
Yeah.
To your spouse and letting them know. And I felt like, you asked a very, very important question. Date one. And I just wanted to give you a very real answer so you could decide what you want to do.
Yeah.
After this date. Do you want to date me again? Do you want to say, this dude here, it's not for me. I'm in the education field and I have no reason to continue with him because he's on a different page.
Yeah.
Those type of things are very important. If you're going to build something that lasts, something that matters, it starts with being clear.
Yes.
In the beginning of why you believe you were created.
Yeah.
It's just not fair to be dragging someone along, because I know a lot of, pastors or friends that their spouse, they really wasn't into it.
Yeah.
And they never let them know from the beginning. They just were wanting to date, and then they started dating and end up getting married, and just eventually it became one of those things where, one was frustrated because they really didn't know that this was a part of the deal. And I just really suggest if you want to build something that matters, something that lasts with your spouse, start off by being clear and kind with them about what your purpose is.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think that's something that I think it can almost be like a deal breaker for some people. Like, I didn't sign up for this. Like, I am not about to go on any type of journey with you down that road or whatever, so it's super, super important. Now, having said that.
Now, also not going down that journey, maybe the person don't want to do it themselves, but also they don't have to do it, ministry, or serve alongside you, but no matter what, they'll be affected because of the sacrifice you are making now. Yeah. So now you're taking you away from them, and they may not even want to be signed up for that. Yeah,
that's essentially the point. Like, they didn't sign up for that journey. They don't want to participate on. Some people don't want to participate on any level. I've seen where sometimes the person will say, "Well, I don't want to do that, but I won't hinder you from doing that." So that's a thing,
Yeah, but it's still difficult.
It's still difficult.
That's difficult because
it is.
Because if you start growing in serving the Lord, I've never seen God not challenge you to give more.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
God's always going to be asking for more, and the more, if you're both on the journey and we both are on the same page, God in this manner, and serving and sacrificing is going to be always more than we understand this. But if we start off and you say, okay, you can do it, but I won't. Okay, well, eventually when it gets to that more, and God is asking for more self-sacrifice, well, maybe that individual didn't sign up for that. So it's always, complicated, when it comes to, not being clear and telling them,
absolutely,
this is where I'm headed, and these are some of the sacrifices, and this is some of the things that we may, be
encounter.
Dealing with.
Yeah, I feel like I was going to say something really good before you went on that.
Yeah, you always say something good. You always say something good.
What I was going to say was, so we were on the same page early on. I knew that this was God's opportunity for me to step into my calling with what you told me you wanted to do with your life. So talk to us about how different it was bringing me along on the journey, even though I was willing to come on the journey. Like, I felt like I had a total place by your side. I felt like everything that we were going to encounter was God's plan for my life as well as for our marriage. But tell us how.
Oh, well, it was a journey that we were going to go on together that I had no knowledge that was going to challenge me to be as patient as God wanted me to be. Because, I had never done a journey with a spouse serving the Lord. I had been single for 6 years serving the Lord before I got married, and I was serving, probably like the last 3 or 4 years of that at a high capacity.
Yeah.
And it took a lot out of me. And, I didn't have to wait on anyone else. I didn't have to collaborate with decisions. I didn't have to think about, the next person as far as, my spouse, because I didn't have one. So it took a lot of patience, and those patience, the patience that God was wanting me to have, I just didn't have it at the time. So it was a little frustrating sometimes, which, I didn't want you to feel discouraged, about, I'm not where you want me to be, or I'm not as developed or grown up in this. I didn't want you to feel that way, so most of the time I would keep that to myself. But one time you literally asked me, and I'm just not gonna lie, you asked me, you're like, well, did you think that I was more prepared for this job than serving God at this capacity? Did you think I was more prepared? And I wasn't gonna lie. I said, yeah, I did.
Yeah.
And I think that you said something.
What made you think that?
Well, I thought that because, and it's wrong, because it was a perspective that I shouldn't even embraced.
Yeah.
But because the type of work we were doing, the ministry we were doing, because we literally lived in a house with addicts for about 6-7 years, me and her. And I would teach them the word of God, and she would encourage and build up and strengthen and sing and cook and doing the book. She did a lot, bookkeeping. She did just a lot. She was cleaning and cooking for, at any given time, 50 to 80 men, when we were in our heyday. And so you came from that background. You grew up like 10, 11 years old, walking around where addicts was living in your house with your dad and your mom, and he was helping them, and your mom was doing what you started doing with me. So I thought you knew, how to work at that level, but you were just, you were just a child in the house. You weren't serving. So automatically I thought like, oh, okay. I got some counsel from a real good friend at the time. They said, hey, Helena got the heart for this vision, and she loves what we do, but you're going to have to be patient with her, because she may not know everything she needs to know. And I was like, and I don't even know how they knew that. They weren't in Dallas. They were all the way in San Antonio. And they told me that. I was like, whoa. But I never forget that statement. Like, just be patient with her. Like, because, she loves this work. She loves seeing addicts transformed by the power of Jesus Christ. She loves, that's all she knows. I was like, oh, okay. And in my mind, it's like it registered, like, that's all she really needs.
Yeah.
Like, that's all she needs is the heart for it. Some people, they want to do it and they can work, but they don't really have the heart and the commitment. What it was you had a high character and commitment, but a low capacity and competency. But that's what and so now it's like, obviously it's balanced out where, you got the character, commitment, the competency, the capacity, you have all that. But, it was a little difficult because, I've been moving real fast and I always heard a journey alone is faster than a journey with two. Yeah. And I learned that in firsthand. And I had sometimes some internal frustrations, but, it was God working on me as well. Yeah. Yeah. God working on my character and developing me to become more patient, be more kind, be selective with my wording and So God was at work.
I think the reason why it's important, I felt like, for you to talk on that is because we're talking about two people who wanted the same thing and who chose to go on the same journey. And it was still very difficult, especially early on. And I think that when a couple is building something meaningful, which building something meaningful, we believe is rooted in God's work, right? In a kingdom effort, in a God agenda. It doesn't necessarily have to look like what we did, of course, obviously, but I think that one of the key phrases that we've always stood on was, being on the same page.
Yeah.
And that alone is a job, like almost a full-time job, especially early on as you're getting to know your spouse. So I'm saying that to say, don't be discouraged if you're building something with your spouse and it's hard, because what I think sometimes couples don't realize is it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
Like, factor that in. Being hard is a part of it. Sometimes I hear people say, well, if this was God, it just shouldn't be this hard. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some things that God will put up a blockage. He'll say, hey, no, guardrail that hardcore. But most of the time, just anything that you're going to do that's meaningful, anything that you're going to do that's innovative or creative or any of that, there's going to be it's a hard process. And it's particularly hard when it's you and your spouse, because not only are you trying to build something, but also build something for the outside world, but you're also building something within your own home.
Yeah.
And that is it's just hard, and that's why I'm so grateful to God for his mercy, for his grace for the journey, because that is what has helped and kept and sustained me during the times where I knew I wasn't measuring up to your standard, which that in and of itself is a whole conversation, because first of all, I never even knew your standard, it was never communicated. And second of all, I can only bring me to the table. So with that, and that's just in general, with anybody, you 9 times out of 10, there's unmet expectations because they're not vocalized.
Yeah. Yeah. I think for us, starting out being a young leader, we opened up a discipleship center to help out people, get discipled out of a drug addiction and gangs. As a young leader, I definitely didn't communicate my expectations as clear as I needed to. It was clear that we wanted to do the same thing.
Yeah.
But the how was not.
The how was not.
It was not clear at all.
It just was not there.
And so we worked that out through the grace of God, like you say, his mercy. And we start learning.
Yeah.
Expectations. We start learning and communicating those, as we begin to start growing.
Yep.
In that season, what was going on inside you? Because, you said you didn't know the expectations or the standard, but what was going on internally at times with you, and when you're trying to build a marriage? We just got married 8 months ago, and now we're here building something great to help other people, because 8 months after we got married, we started a ministry, which I wouldn't suggest anyone to ever do that, but we did it. And 8 months in, we're married. Now we're in this ministry helping addicts and preaching the gospel, and full time, 20-hour days sometimes. And so what's going on internally with you in the midst of making all these adjustments to build a marriage and also to build something that matters?
Yeah, a lot. I mean, it was a lot of confusion, a lot of overwhelming sense of being overwhelmed, a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear, that I had to face, and just continue to receive godly counsel through and seek God about, because I just had never felt like I was failing ever. Like, I was the type of person that whatever I would set my mind to do, it just seemed like God would just kiss it, and it would just flourish, and I would just be doing great. And all the time, and I felt like I finally got myself into something that I suck at this. I suck at marriage, and I even suck at helping people. Like, at that point, I was like, let's just throw this whole situation away and start over. Like, I just didn't feel like I was the person for the job. And that's why I said, it was very hard. And that's why I said the hard parts are a part of it, and so God, who is so faithful, just began to remind me of hard things that I had overcome in my past before we even got together. And he started reminding me of, hey, remember when your brother died and how hard that was, and just how you felt so overwhelmed and how you didn't think you were going to make it when your dad died, and just all of those things. And I just began to draw strength from that, kind of that whole mantra of, if he did it once, he'll do it again, And so I would just cling to that. And of course, my mom would encourage me and just kind of help me, with the marriage side of it and the ministry side, because she knew both, and just people speaking into my life, and just being open to learn, being open to what you were even trying to teach me. Because at one point I began to teeter on bitterness and resentment, because not only are you my husband, but you're also like the boss of this whole organization that we're building. And I'm like, wearing all these hats, and forgetting you're wearing a lot of hats too. And so in the midst of all of that horrible negativity that was brewing inside of me, God, who's rich in mercy, right? And just his manifold grace just met me in that moment, and just kind of helped me to remember, hold on, you're not a punk, you're not weak, you're not, and in the sense that you know how to fight through this. You have fought many battles before. You know how to overcome. Remember, who you are. Remember that you're a child of God. Remember, just reminding me of who I am in Christ and my true identity. I'm not this just worthless person that I had started to think I was, and God just began to minister to my inner man, and just I just got in his word and just started saying, okay, Lord, lead me to where I'm supposed to be going internally between me and you. And as I began to work on my relationship with God, and that began to become whole and healthy, then my relationships horizontally began to be better, starting with you, And so that time was very necessary, though, because it helped me to get down low before God and not function in pride. There was literally no room for pride, because I had nothing to be proud of. I felt like, and when I think about it, I felt like I was failing, but I had a lot of spiritual kids that I was helping. I just had people that I was helping and taking care of, and they probably didn't know that's how I was feeling. But at the end of the day,
I didn't even really know that until later when you shared it.
That was real. And like I said, it was hard, but it was also a part of my process. My process to learn, hey, first of all, you're building something great, true enough, but I'm just using your hands, feet, your mouth, your talents and abilities. You're just stewarding this stuff. I'm the Lord was like, this is my work. This is my ministry. And if I would not have been put in a position where I had to bow down low, I wasn't the type of person that would bow down. Like if I'm right, I'm standing 10 toes down all day long for, and the Lord just had to kind of break me a little. And that I feel like that was a part of my breaking process. And I feel like it was necessary, and I lived, and I chose to live. I was like, Lord, I want to do this work, and I want to do it well. I don't want to just be along for the ride. I don't want to be, I tease you and say I'm your forever plus one, and I am, but I am also someone who's right alongside of you, forging this thing forward, pushing this thing forward, so.
I want to unpack some of that, but just to, so everyone to know, there's always a breaking. If you're going to build anything meaningful or great, there's always going to be a breaking.
Absolutely.
And you can't avoid that. There'll be more broken times for her and for me. I mean, that's just, it's not like, I went through that and that's it, I got it. No, he's gonna
by far.
he's gonna always put us through a breaking. And so just to unpack that, it sounds like you climbed out of that state, or by one, it sounds like you said you got counsel from other people. That you got to you had a safe place to communicate, which is very important, to have a safe place that you can communicate your broken times and how you feel, and what's really, you can go all the way there, you can lean in that conversation. Number two, sound like you depending on God's word, you
Yeah.
know, and you remember his faithfulness.
Yeah.
Because you can get God's word, and that's just on a piece of paper. But when you've experienced his faithfulness and
For sure.
you reflect back on how good he has been,
Yeah.
it reminds you, oh my God, he's always like this.
Always.
He's always
Yep.
gonna, and then you can't avoid broken times. You're
Right.
just not gonna be able to. If you want to build anything meaningful, you will not avoid broken times. Times where, obviously, you're someone, but you're gonna feel like you're nothing. You're a failure. You're gonna feel like that. So God can take nothing and create something.
Yeah.
So you can come to realize it's not you.
Exactly.
None of this is you. So you need to realize that you are nothing. And
Right.
it's true to a degree, but it's not like an identity issue, like you're
Yeah.
nothing. You're
Yeah.
someone in the
Yeah.
hands of God, And so that is beautiful. I thank you for sharing that. And the beautiful thing is we were walking right alongside each other, sleeping in the same bed,
Yeah.
and I didn't even know that was going on.
Yeah.
Which is very beautiful, I think, because she was dependent on the Lord and she wasn't waiting on me to get her and drag her out of it.
Yeah.
I didn't have to drag her out of that. She had her own intimacy with God because, believe it or not, I was going through the same thing right next to her. You
Yeah.
know, I was going through
Yeah.
my seasons of, just feeling like I was a failure as a husband and,
Yeah.
trying to get this ministry off, pioneering a work from scratch, and, tethering my identity to our success or lack
Yeah.
of it. And sometimes we weren't succeeding. I felt like, and I was over, battling, my own identity issues. And so here we are, we're here today and we're building something meaningful. And just to give you an update, what happens in our discipleship center is we train people.
Yeah.
We develop people. We disciple people. We take people from one place to the next, and in that, people come in to our recovery center, our discipleship center, and our churches, and they have callings. They have a purpose.
Yeah.
They have a life that they say, hey, I want to build something that matters, whether it's
Yeah.
with them and their spouse, or whether it's just them alone and they're single. And so one of the things I want to do is shout out the Well Recovery Center.
Yeah.
The Well DFW.org is where you can come check us out, or 4419 Hamilton Avenue, Dallas, Texas, or you can call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 214-565-5005. If you or anyone you know have an addiction and you need to break it, call 214-565-5005. It's still flourishing. It's still helping out men. We have a men location right now, and a men's location. We're looking to open up a women's location in the next year and a half or so, and so it's still going forward. It's under the leadership of a beautiful couple, Pastor Matthew Wilson and his beautiful wife Stephanie Wilson.
Yeah.
But people came in and we began to start discipling.
Yeah.
And so we're building something that's meaningful. And so next we go and we open up a church. About almost 3 years later.
Yeah.
So we're 3 years in.
Yep.
We have a recovery center, and now we have a church. God takes us through that all over again.
Yeah.
The broken stage. We don't know what we're doing. Oh my God, am I a good pastor?
Yeah.
My Lord, people are leaving. Was it me? What did I preach right? Oh my God, people are walking in, and it's like you love people, so you don't want to see them leave, but you're thinking, is it me? And you're just you're going through all these emotional situations, and and praying and crying out to God, and God's so sovereign. He uses all of that.
Yes.
He uses all of that because
does.
you got a tender heart. You love people. So it's not like, oh, the heck with that family. No, it's never that. It's like, man, what happened? Like, can we have a meeting? No, I don't want to talk to you anymore. What? Hold on, I was just anointed last week. Today I suck. Huh?
Yeah.
You just love
Literally.
You were just telling me my message was great last month. Today you want to carry your whole family out? What happened?
Yeah.
And you just have these emotional battles, and you got to go before the Lord and pray and say, God, please help me through this, because I want to help your people.
Yeah.
I want to build something that's meaningful.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, just the whole almost paradigm shift and just the dynamics of the difference between running a discipleship home and running a church are just two different worlds, really, because when people come to a discipleship home, they're coming because they know they've pretty much wrecked stuff in their lives and they need help.
Yeah.
And people come to church, I mean, people shop around for churches. People fire your past. You know what I'm saying? Like they're choosing to be here because they just want to or not. You know,
right.
And so it's just a really different dynamic, a whole nother, like you said, level of being broken and put back together for God's glory. And I think that that this journey on quote unquote the church side, this journey has just been just as enriching, just as like hard, but still fulfilling, life-giving. But yeah, I mean, it's a trip.
What would you suggest to a person that is a spouse, either male or female, they're in a relationship and they want to build something that lasts? What is one of the things, the mantras, the go-tos, the anchors to keep you? What do you say to someone that, you know, I'm in this marriage or I'm dating right now and I really want to build something that matters. I want to do something for God with my spouse. What would you suggest they do? Like, we know that, you know, you need to be clear and let them know exactly what you want to do beforehand. But now you're in it, you're in the thick of it, y'all are dating, y'all doing something for God. What would you suggest they do?
I think communicating still is key, because you may want to do something for God. I may want to do something for God, but if you're dating someone, you need to make sure those things align.
Okay, we communicate that, it's clear, it's aligned now.
Okay. So I would say just continue to seek God, right? Keep him in the center of it, and also communicate with one another every step of the way, because there are changes that happen. There are things that work out that don't work out, and you don't want your person to start feeling like they're the reason it didn't work out or something. Yeah. So I would say keep those clear lines of communication with each other open always, because clarity is kindness, like you said. And when you're clear with one another, then you're able to walk in a clear direction. So I would say communication is super key.
So you say seek
God.
What
would you say?
Well, I'm breaking down what you're saying. Seek God, you know, so you can grow. Obviously, seeking God, talking about getting into a church family. You want to be in a church community that's seeking God. You want to be, you know, be a part of a church family. You want to get in God's word personally on your own. You want to, you know, pray and, you know, daily. And then the communication is like, okay, just in case God pivoted or put something else in your heart, y'all can be on the same page. So it sounds like that. That's what you're saying. That's what it sounds like you just said. I mean, just for it to be clear, because seeking God, some people may not, you know, identify what that means in a personal, practical way. But what I would say is not only outside of all that great stuff you just said and the clarity, you know, at the beginning, I would say that no matter what, set your mind, because we know it's going to be difficult. Yeah. Set your mind on there is no arrival place. You just don't get to a place or plateau. Yeah. You know, you don't get on top of the hill and say, yes, we've arrived. You just will not do it. I don't care how long you've been plowing. It's been over 2 decades for me, and I'm still learning. Yeah. I'm still growing. I'm still developing. There's a lot of things God is still working out in my life. I mean, I'm just not even going to act like it's not. I'm not going to act like, oh, I've arrived. I don't know how many times people say this to me. Oh, Pastor, when did you overcome that? I was just talking about this Sunday when I was preaching. I said, what do you mean? What made you think that I don't struggle there? Yeah. Like, what do you think because they slapped that pastor title? I just don't. They slapped the pastor title in front of my name, and now I don't have battles. I don't have wars. I don't have insecurities. I don't have fears. I don't have doubts. No, they're still there. Just don't ever get to a place where you feel as if you've arrived. Just stay hungry. Always be a student. Yeah. Continue to be a learner. You know, stay open, and always have mentors. Yes. People that are speaking into your life. Always have mentors. That's what I would say. You know, you want to have mentors for different aspects of life. Yeah. Marriage, ministry, finances, legal issues. You want, you know, whatever thing that you're getting into, you want to make sure that you have some type of mentor in that area.
Yes, I agree. Those are really good. Those are really good things.
Yeah, I mean, it's just something, because if you want to build something that lasts, you're gonna need more than your brain. Yeah. Your brain is not enough. One brain is too low of a number and does not have the capacity to do the great things that God has for you.
I agree.
One brain will not do it. That's why I don't like when we have team meetings and nobody wants to add any value. Yeah, like what you say, Pastor. I'm like, this is not the time for this, and be super submissive today. You know what I'm saying? You know, we need your brain, we need your ideas, we need your thoughts, we need your innovation. We need this because there's no way my brain is going to be able to, you know, take this to the level that God wants to take it. And so building something great with your life, put it in the comment section. What would you like to build? What do you think God is putting on your heart?
That's so beautiful. Yeah. That's a good question.
What is God putting on your heart? What is God challenging you to build with your spouse? Well, you may say, well, I'm single. Well, okay. Learn how to plow alone. And then once you do get with someone, be very clear about what you're plowing toward. And it was just so beautiful that God brought someone in my life, Atlanta, that wanted the exact same thing. It's unique, very unique. But if you pray and ask the Lord, you'll find the right person at the right time to do the right work for God, and you'll build something that lasts forever and it's meaningful. You know, impact a lot of people's lives. Anything else you thinking about when it comes to building something that lasts, meaningful, something that matters?
I think that I don't know that it goes without saying, but I do want to say that truly only what we do for God lasts. So make sure whatever you're building, He's incorporated in there, in some, you know, at the foundation of it, and He is the one that is ultimately getting the glory out of it, because only what we build for God lasts, you know. And so, but building something great with your life, with your marriage, with your family, is really the ultimate. It really is the ultimate thing to advance God's kingdom, to love on people well, to be a source of encouragement and hope for people, is really the highest level of living, you know. And so, and mostly because it takes you outside of you and yours. And anytime you're outside of you and yours, it's selfishness has no way to thrive, you know. And so that helps out on so many levels when you're not being a selfish person. So that's what I would say. I mean, it's just so rewarding, you know, the life that we live and what we get to do for God, you know, and how we get to touch human lives is just phenomenal. I mean, I can't even put words on it most of the time, just the beauty of what God has allowed me to be a part of in my lifetime. And so we just want to encourage you. If you want to build something great, we'll say, communicate. We'll say, get on the same page about it prior to even getting married, right? And if you're already married, communicate with your spouse and see how y'all can navigate through that. Get you some good mentors. Get with people that can advise you and lead you. And then what else did you say, my love?
Yeah. Just as we build stuff for God. Because I don't know. I don't remember any of that. I'm not good on recapping, especially when I'm just flowing. But the reality, if you want to do something for God, it is the most rewarding and fulfilling thing you would ever do with your spouse. You can go across the world and see everything under the sun. But when you are with the love of your life and you're doing the greatest thing in the earth, and that's leading people to eternal life through the person of Jesus Christ. There is no greater feeling and experience in this earth. So we thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. If you want to recap, just go ahead and rewind.
I said 2 of them.
Again.
I gave them 2.
That's good.
Or was that 3?
That's good. And
watch it again.
Right. And so share this with someone. We just want to be here with you monthly. We are thinking about putting more content out, but just make sure that you share, rate, and review this, because we believe that if you want to build a marriage that makes a difference and build something that lasts here in the earth, that means that you're going to realize that every moment here in this earth, it really matters. Thank you so much for joining. I'm Billy Island.
And I'm Helena Island.
God bless.
Bye.